Rec League podcast. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell your haters. Available on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Good Pods, Pocket Casts, Breaker, and Stitcher. At Rec League Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. At Rec League Pod on Twitter. Episode 135. Available now. Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram, or YouTube itself. What up, world? I just watched If, or Imaginary Friends. I think we're calling it If, but it is an acronym. Starring Kaylee Fleming, Ryan Reynolds, John Krasinski, Fiona Shaw, Liza Colón-Zayas, Bobby Moynihan, and I think that's it for the humans. For the voices, if you got a couple hours, let me ramble these off right quick. We got Steve Carell, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Louis Gossett Jr., John Krasinski, Matt Damon, Emily Blunt, Richard Jenkins, Christopher Maloney, Sam Rockwell, Bradley Cooper, George Clooney, Blake Lively, Awkwafina, Maya Rudolph. I heard that Amy Schumer was in there, Keegan-Michael Key, you got so many actors voicing so many characters. I'm watching the movie like, man, like I wish they would have like got Eddie Murphy. I wish they would have got all these other people, like somebody serious like Christian Bale. It's also directed by John Krasinski. He directed The Hollers and the two A Quiet Place movies. A Quiet Place Part 2. And you got Kaylee, I keep saying her name wrong, Kaylee Fleming. She has been through some hurt, some pain, and she's like trying to like growing and maturing and trying to put childish things behind her, but then her grandma's like upstairs neighbor is stuck trying to find imaginary friends' new kids. And she helps. I'm always down for new John Krasinski. I'm always down for new Ryan Reynolds. And I feel like they're probably like really friends. So like they can make a good movie. And this was good. This was good. This is such a weird comparison. And possibly a spoiler. But it was like Drop Dead Fred like meets The Sixth Sense. Because, like, not everybody can see the imaginary friends. That's not a spoiler. Plot detail. But, yeah, like, Ryan Reynolds dressed up like a tap dancer. He kind of, like, doesn't want to be in the position. Like, so, like, he's, like, stuck doing it. B is Kaylee Fleming's character's name. She, at first, isn't sure, but then like gets into the groove and like starts to enjoy. And there's like, my takeaway from this movie was just like, no matter how old you get and no matter how heavy life gets, man, don't lose your imagination and your creative spark. Even if you're just a schlubby goober on YouTube talking about movies, it's still creating something. Don't grow up to the point that you lose your imagination. Like, being artistic and creative is just something that keeps the whole world like with this like childlike quality. Like, this movie had so much heart. It sounds derogatory, but this is one of the most just good movies that is so fucking likable in every aspect of its execution, that like the movie overall feels kind of wonky and like a couple tweaks here and there, story, dialogue, whatever. It could have been elevated, but everything that we got was just so likable. Like Steve Carell, his character looks like Grimace, like the main if that we are sold. But he's so funny. Like hit when she and don't say ifs, and he's just like bursting, trying not to say it. It killed me in the trailers, and it killed me in the movie. I laughed quite a bit, but it's so touching, and like I said, there's so much heart, and it's for all its negatives, which you gotta be like fine-tooth combing like all the Oscar award categories to really like nitpick this movie. Krasinski said it's like a live action Pixar movie. I wouldn't go that far because, man, Pixar is so special. But yeah, this was like a live action. It's obviously a family movie. It's just a live action cartoon. Which sounds stupid. Roger Rabbit. But yeah, like I don't want to like go into like describing, but it's just like the beginning made me sad. There's so many laughs, and there's so much happiness and joy sold throughout this movie, and then it gets you more emotional in the feel good spots. Yeah, like I think this movie did its job. Just overall as a movie, I just thought it could have been better. John Krasinski, Jim from The Office, directing different genres is just fire. Like I love that shit, because like the Hollers is like a melodrama, A Quiet Place, two classic. He cooked a classic horror franchise. We're about to get a prequel that I know he's gonna be in. Like him and Emily Blunt have to, and their kids in the movie, they have to like be at the end of the movie. And now this family, like I said, family dramedy. I'm really excited to see what he does going forward. So with all that being said, I will say that in my opinion, If is almost dope. Have you seen If, man? What you think? Positive, negative, somewhere in between? Let me know. I recently put up a review for The Strangers, Chapter 1, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, The Fall Guy a couple weeks ago. Next weekend I want to watch and review the Garfield movie and Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. So be on the lookout for all of that, man. Recent Rec League podcast, we did spoilers for Apes. Next podcast, we'll likely do spoilers for Furiosa. So, like, subscribe, comment. Find me where you find me, man. Don't know where to find me. Watch these credits. Peace.